or something. I was like, I need to get home. Plus, it's a long day. We have rehearsal coming up. I need to get some rest, and I'll talk to you later. But you can tell he was like really bummed that I didn't stay.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
He
like,
definitely seems in need of good friends. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Because a lot of his friends are kind of in the same like mind frame as him.
Mm-hmm.
As far as a lot of them, they're young. They're young. Some are like, I think they're like 20. Mm-hmm. And you could tell that they're very unsure of themselves as well. Mm-hmm. One just got out of a relationship, so he's like, I don't want to say bitter, mm-hmm. but you could tell that he really wants to be in a relationship. It's just really, really hard because every dude that he tends to end up being with, mm-hmm. It's usually arguments or they end up cheating on him. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I try to tell him, like, you know.
And this is TJ?
No, this is his friends. So, like, you know, you tend to hang out with people that you can find, like, similar traits. So when they're probably together, they probably just express about how they're feeling with their, you know, feelings about men and mm-hmm. relationships and things like that of that sort. And I try to tell them, like, you know, you guys are young. Like, it's always good. It's nice to be in a relationship. It's nice to know that you're with somebody that's going to, you know, that care about you and embraces the same things that you are. But right now, like, we live in different times. It's 2011. We've been through so much, 9/11, Katrina. There's all these things going on. Life is not promised tomorrow. There's so many people. People are dying every day. Just recently, you heard about the guy that got, you know, who was on...
Troy Davis.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, you know, this is the time that you have to start making, like, life count every day. You have to start making life count. You cannot sit there and live in this fantasy world because that's not what we're living in right now. Like, people are not playing. You have to start living your life like you can see it 10 years down the line. If relationships was always, it's a beautiful thing, but if you really feel mentally that that's not what you're ready for, you shouldn't push yourself into it because you're going to always find yourself taking steps back instead of taking steps forward emotionally. You're not going to be able to love yourself and embrace yourself because you're too busy trying to look for love in all the wrong places.
Mm-hmm. Well, and if you don't love yourself, you're not actually able to love
anybody else.
You know, and same for everyone.
Yeah.
And what I see is happening to relationships, especially with younger people, is that they're looking for the image.
It's all about the physical
of the relationship.
It's the physical, and it's not what's the, you know, they find out, oh, this person, they've been through this, that, and the other, and then they just end up, okay, I don't want to be with this person anymore because I feel like we don't have anything in common. But when you look past the image and you see their heart, what they embrace as far as who they are, what they came from, that is what's going to last forever. That is what's going to make them who they are. Those things you can't change about a person. If anything, you can be able to look at that and be like, okay, I'm learning about this person, and maybe from them, you know, experiencing this, that, and the other, it can open a door as far as, you know, I never knew anything like this. Mm-hmm. You're just going to have a lot of epiphanies about things that you probably never even knew of because everybody grows up differently. Mm-hmm. So we've all been through different, you know, walks of life and experiences. But when you can embrace somebody as far as somebody who comes from a different life than you and you see them and what they come from, that's the beauty that you need to be able to, like, bring in and see. And people are not seeing that these days, and that's why they're in a relationship one day, single the next day, and back into another relationship the next day. And I'm just like, this is madness.
Serial monogamists, I call them.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm just like, what is the world coming to?
Well, and then, you know, and then you have this interesting phenomenon where people are they're still paying off their weddings while they're trying to afford a divorce. Because they also want the image of the wedding. They
want the ring. They want to show their friends that they're happy. There's relationships that I've seen, people who have been married for, and these like older people, they've been married for years. And you look at them and they look so unhappy. And it makes me look like, that is not the marriage that I want to be in. That's why I love the people who are engaged for like years. They're still getting to know each other through the process. You can never get to know somebody. You could be married to somebody for 20, 40 years. That doesn't mean that you truly actually know who they are. Every day that you have with them is a new, what am I trying to say? It's a new, you sound very fascinated with this. It's just a new, like, I don't know. It's just, it's a new, the word's on the tip of my tongue. I'm just trying to find it. It's like a new discovery. It's a new discovery. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a new discovery. It's beautiful because it's like you're allowing yourself to see this person for who they are, and every day when you wake up to that person, you look at them, you see the beauty of who they are. They're sleek. They're not, they don't have makeup on. They're fresh. They have that fresh look. It's that fresh beauty. They're not trying to portray something that they're not. They're not, putting themselves out to the world to be looked at as something that they're not. The same person that like intrigued you and that you fell in love with. You're waking up to that person every single day. And that is what real love is about. It's not about becoming an image that you see on TV or in the internet or trying to become a celeb. Lady Gaga wears these big glasses. Now you see everybody else wearing them. She wears these big old heels. Now everybody else is trying to become that same image. That's not what life is about. It's about walking through the steps of your own journey, finding what makes you happy, finding what your life is all about, pretty much. Finding out, this is the reason why I was put on this earth. This is the reason why God has given, me, lungs to breathe this beautiful life that He's given me. And people, it's weird that people would never be able to, realize that at all. They would never have that experience because they're lost. They're so lost.
It's very sad.
It's crazy.
They're lost and they're locked into a system that really doesn't facilitate that type of appreciation.
It's craziness to me. It's craziness to me.
And how are you handling all of these things, Alex?
It's a beautiful thing to me. I've been in the relationships where, 1 minute, months pass, you're in a relationship. But I'm coming to the point where if somebody cannot support you and love you and embrace you, I know I said embrace 20 million times, but I'm just saying, embrace you and see you for the person that you are, truly, there's no reason for you to put yourself through all that heartache, because all it's going to do is it's going to set you back. It's going to set you back, and it's going to allow you not to see the true light that lives inside of you and that person. And then also, not only are you putting yourself through heartache, but you're putting that person through heartache, because you have to also look at what you're doing to the other person. If you're with someone who is trying to find love, and you know that you're trying to find love, but they may just be a little bit more worse than you, when you break up with that person, it can kill them more than you may realize. Because you never know how someone is really feeling until they, let you know and they fill you in and they just really tell you about what they're going through. Mm-hmm. So that's how I live life. It's more just, if it happens, it happens. But I have a beautiful life. I have a beautiful family that supports me for who I am and what I'm about. I have beautiful friends. And I'm meeting people every day that are becoming family to me. People think that family is people that are your biological, we have the same blood. No. Even being at this agency, I'm growing to have a new family. People who understand me. People that every day, even if I feel at home, there's something going on, when I get to rehearsal, I know it's going to be a beautiful day because I'm around people that they have that same desire to be better. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing like that.
Not that we found.
Nothing that we found like that. There's nothing like that in the world. It's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. And nothing that money can pay for. It's life. It's life. Mm-hmm.